All right. No, it's been a while. It really has been. Now, to put that in context, I have not been on XSplit Broadcaster in a minute. So obviously I need to start utilizing it again. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I went on TikTok and I posted some old videos of me watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. How many episodes is that? 39? And the thing is, those 39 episodes can easily be multiplied by three. So 39 by three, looking at like at least 117 episodes if I decide to cut it in three, right? What's the length of an episode? About 25. So basically 8 minutes a piece, right? So if I chop up every segment in 8 minutes, then we're in a good place. We're in a good place. Um, Now mind you, even though my that's a hmm, that's interesting. I'm wondering, I'm do a check on this. I'm going to double, oh, for the love of God. Come on. Like, just do no man. Just do. Just make my life a little easier. There we go. All right. No, hold on. Hold on. There we go. That would be a bit much. Like trying to use XSplit Broadcaster while doing a live from Zoom. It's probably that's asking for a lot. I don't know if I could pull that off. Could I? It's possible that I could get away with it. I probably could. Because what if I, what if I selected it as a portion of the screen? I don't know. It's kind of risky though. Risky. Because you can use XSplit to stream. You can. I have forgotten. I don't even know if I can't even recall having done that before. But anyway, I also like to have them recorded. So just in case I don't go live. Yeah. I owe you a lot. I owe you. I owe you a lot. I owe every. There are other things. All right. Conversations. Star Wars. Yeah. We don't have a lot of people in Jamaica talking about Star Wars, so I will do it. Right? Obviously, in fact, there's a little bit of overlap Star Wars and Metal Gear Solid, even though it's implied, if you want to call Revolver Ocelot Kenobi, you can. But then again, he's a little bit more sinister than Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was a real guy. Ocelot was the person he needed to be to get the job done. Right? So that's the thing with Ocelot. I wanted to talk about this controversial hot take. Imagine that we live in a world that's more LGBT friendly than ever before, more women empowerment than ever before, but we get a show like The Blacklist. Yeah, we get a show like The Blacklist. All of a sudden, when you say to people, Raymond Reddington is Katerina Rostova, no, no, no woman is that smooth. No woman is that cool. To pretend to be a man for that long, to protect your daughter, that's not possible. That's where you draw the line. You draw the line with that. So women can do everything else on God's earth except be Raymond Reddington. I mean, what else makes more sense than that? It explains how Katarina disappeared. Of course, she disappeared. She disappeared in plain sight. And I mean, when you think about it, it explains why the cabal was so what you call it no adamant about getting rid of her or getting rid of him. Because when imagine that Alan Fitch walks up to Raymond Reddington and says, "What's it been, Red? Like what? 20 some years? 20 years ago, his name wasn't Raymond Reddington, and we know that. We know that. So these are the type of things that I want to discuss in one, Raymond Redacted Files, the part that Carly gets on the blacklist. And those are just two blacklist related shows. Then of course there's No Pick Insight, which is more related to me doing the recordings by myself. And then there is my anime pick, which is basically where I sit down with somebody else, watching a show and things like that. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have to level up, man. I have to level up. I have to level up. I have to level up. Get better camera, you know. All these things take time, all these things take money. Take time, take money, take time, take money. I just don't pay all of my bill them and I'm stressed. It's like, what's going on? You know? It's crazy. Yeah. So let's talk a little Star Wars, a little bit Metal Gear. I actually want to do a bit of like there's some playful things that I really want to do. Like doing the voice of Liquid, doing the voice of Solid, doing the voice of Liquid, doing the voice of Solid. My Solid Snake voice is gonna be, it's gonna be all right. It's going to be all right. So you have Liquid and Solid. I want to do something on about that. I want to, well, in the part that call it to the blacklist, I want to do a thing where I pretty much have the like if you imagine me talking to you, imagine me talking to Raymond Reddington and saying, just it's like, Red, after all these years, I always wondered why it was that you just couldn't bring yourself to tell her. Like, why couldn't you tell her who you were? But then again, maybe you don't know this. But I'll enlighten. There is such a piece of content popular in Japan and exported everywhere else in the world, known as anime, right? And in this particular anime that I'm going to reference, there's a character called Kie from Yu Yu Hakusho. What Kie did to Yukino is what you did to Elizabeth Jean. So if you think about it like that, makes a lot of sense. The only difference is yours took about 8 seasons. You kept lying about who you were. You wanted your privacy respected, as expected. You are a spy after. You're a spy. Cloak and dagger, I'd imagine. Hmm? Clandestine. Regardless of whether or not the clan was destined to fail. Hmm? But here we are, sitting in purgatory. As you figure out which direction you're headed in, are you going there or up there? It's the man in the hat speaking to the man in the hat. I understand. So that's kind of the direction that I kind of want to go with that. And I'm playing a role. I'm playing a role right now. I have no idea. Yeah, and Here's the reality. The reality is everybody knows that when it comes to content creation, you will have to make 1,000 videos before anybody cares. You have to put in the work. You have to put in whole heap of hours. Otherwise, no one is gonna care. Right? There was Invincible, Invincible, and Castlevania. I missed out on any opportunities to talk about. These are obviously TVMA. You know what I could call it? I could call it No Picking Side After Dark. That particular edition would be more suited for like the more adult natured, whether it is anime or otherwise. Just really taking a dive into, Castlevania is one world, Castlevania Nocturne, and Invincible. Um, yeah, phenomenal work. And I like how it's dissimilar from the comic. Like most of the events are the same. Majority of them are the same. And it just makes life interesting. Because you know what? I'll tell you what happens. When you do a play-by-play repeat of exactly everything that happened, guess what? You get disappointed. I'll tell you why. I remember I read Full Metal Alchemist. I read it. And then the anime came out and I wanted to see how it would play out. And when I saw it, I was like, yeah, now I understand why anime only are anime only. Makes sense. Why read the manga and then spoil it for yourself when you see it in the anime? No, it's different if you read the manga. Long, 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 long time. And then the anime comes out after. You know? That's different. But if it's a situation where you're reading the manga so that you can find out what's going to happen before the anime drop, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot. Um, ooh. I actually the other day posted in one of my WhatsApp channels something about the difference between a remake and a remaster. Now, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, that is a remake, not a remaster. Because the remaster stays faithful to the original article. And that's what happened to Rurouni Kenshin. Rurouni Kenshin did a whole graphical overhaul, but the spirit and the essence of the show is gone. Like I saw the episode where they were supposed to show you the showdown between Hajime Saito and Kenshin, and it was so lackluster. It lacked feeling, it lacked expression, it lacked spirit, it lacked intensity, it lacked atmosphere. So many things were missing from it. Just everything was missing from it. And Twin Snakes, all it did was just turn everything into the Matrix slash Max Payne. It's like Twin Snakes might as well be called Metal Gear Solid if it were Max Payne slash the Matrix. Because that's what Twin Snakes really was. You know, a whole game pretending to be Max Payne or the Matrix. Annoying. I hate I hated that trend. That trend where everybody's doing this and and doing that. Like, what? You know that game that people play where you walk under the stick? Pause. Yeah, you walk on the stick and you do this thing where so people were doing that with bullets. And then there's this thing called bullet time. And I won't lie though, the Matrix games in the Matrix, as in the games based on the Matrix movies, those games were fun. They were fun. And you had to give them props for doing that with the license. Get them props. They did a good job. They did a good job. So we'll talk video games. We'll talk anime. We'll talk the blacklist. Speaking of that, Attack on Titan. Let me just talk about that for a minute. You see, the thing with Attack on Titan is this. I like, well, I remember the first time I read about the rumbling and I saw all the footprints and all of that, and it looked horrendous. Fam, you see when you watch it in the anime, yo, you could feel the bloodshed. It was, I mean, it was an atrocity. Yeah, it was so bad that Eren literally dipped his hand in a footprint filled with blood and picked up like some strands of hair and some missing teeth or whatever, whatever, and lift it up and realized that it was the teeth and hair from the child that he did say he's so sorry about what he's going to do. Yo, listen to me. The anime did a good job. And they even sequel baited us. You know, them sequel baited them make we feel like say, okay, the possibility exists that we're going to get a future Attack on Titan. And we could. But the prequel, the idea of a prequel for Attack on Titan, that is what we want. Nothing else could be sweeter than that. A prequel for Attack on Titan? Yeah. That's what everybody's looking forward to. How did we get the Ackerman family or the Ackerman clan? Right? What happened with the defection of Eldians away from Marley into Paradise? I get the feeling that what happened was there were some Eldians that wanted to stay back and fight, and the founder was like, listen, you stay, you're gonna get caught, and they're gonna do all kinds of crap to you. Do you want to walk with us? Yes or no? Yeah. I get the feeling that the ones who chose to stay are, and then it makes the entire story of Attack on Titan make sense. Because they didn't get their memories wiped. They remember everything that happened. They remember the good old days when them used to run the world. They're the Eldians that remember the good old days. Whereas the Eldians over there are the Island Devils and they have no idea why they deserve to die. They don't know. Interesting. I really like that about it. I like that it took so many years for me to figure out what was actually going on. Yeah, trust me. Trust me. No, I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else I have on my mind in terms of content ideas. I can't tell you. I can't tell you because I don't remember. Oh God. No, let me not talk about that. Tekken, whatever. That Tekken animated or the Tekken that they put on Netflix. Ugh, sorry. No. I'll talk about some fun people like NC Hammer, the Hokage of Naruto knowledge. NC Hammer, the GOAT. I appreciate you. NC Hammer is dope. Kage the Don is the best commentator on everything Naruto. I don't think anybody touches that commentary. It's legendary. Love what you do with that. All right. Yeah, so it's a good time. Uh I'm trying to think if there's else. Yes, yes, yes. Samurai Champ. I mean, if I have a page called Bossman Champloo, why would I not talk about Samurai Champloo? And if I'm going to talk about it, I need to talk about it with my hip hop brother in arms. The reason why I need to watch it with him is because it is so important. The inspiration, the hip hop, and all of the, like the let me tell you something. Call this an anime hot take if you want, but the music, the score of Samurai Champloo is way better than Cowboy Bebop by a million miles. By a million miles. It's not even close. I promise you it's not close. It is the same argument as Tekken 2 soundtrack being better than Tekken 3's. Are you hopped up on the same kind of drugs that they gave Alistair Overeem? Are you hopped up on some? Are you swole? Nah, relax. You're bugging. No way. I'm sorry. No, there was never a Tekken 2 soundtrack that was brought back into Tekken 8. Yeah? Tekken 8 had to Tekken 8 had to remix Jin's theme from Tekken 3. What are we talking about? There's no way that Tekken 2 soundtrack is better than Tekken 3's. It's not. It is not. That's not even up for discussion or debate. It is not. It is not. It's the equivalent of telling me that Jorge Masvidal beat Kamaru Usman. That didn't happen. It's the illusion of you thinking you cut Itachi. You never did. All you did was touch a bird and then it exploded and you saw more crows. What are you supposed to do with somebody that just has fun casting illusions upon you, making you feel like you're doing something that you've never done? Tekken 3 soundtrack beats Tekken 2. And I will die on that hill. And I will tell you why. Because doom, 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 doom. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? That is the most memorable song. Like, that might as well be the theme for Tekken. It might as well be. And by the way, another hot take. Bad boy! Heihachi Mishima is back in Tekken 8. Thank God. Thank God. The story or even the game itself was boring without him. Let's be honest. If they brought him back into the canon, I wouldn't mind. They killed Goken and brought him back anyway. And that's obviously Street Fighter, but still, what the hell will go? Like, okay, so Kazuya tried to kill Jin. It didn't happen, right? And then now we have Reina Mishima. Reina, nigga, nobody asked for that. No, I'm not even, listen, I'm all for women empowerment and I like her as a character. But, bro, imagine Elizabeth Keane trying to be Raymond Reddington. You know why it will never happen and why it couldn't happen? Because her only motivation for bringing down Reddington was the fact that she thought that Raymond was responsible for everybody in her life dying. Not realizing that the person that she wants to meet her entire life is actually Raymond Reddington. And it's the reason why when people get up and they're like, oh, he can't be Katarina. Yes, he is. Raymond Reddington is Katarina Rostova. And how you know? Because in the end, when she got the gun, right? And she pointed at Reddington and she said, I can't do it. And Raymond stood there and he's like, I understand. I think in that moment he realized that then they gave her the letter so she knew his real identity. Why do you think Raymond was such a good mother or a good parent? Every time there's a baby involved, him just seem to know what to do. I'm like, that's suspicious. You've never been a father, but you have been a mother before. Come on. Yes, I brought it back to the blacklist, but the point that I am making is that there's no replacing Heihachi Mishima. There's no replacing that. Kazuya is not Heihachi and will never be. You get what I'm saying? Like Ryu will never be Goken. You know that. Like Goken is Goken, Ryu is Ryu. Yeah? Kazuya is Kazuya. Heihachi is Heihachi. Daddy will always be daddy. What are you talking about? There's no replacing that. Daddy Mishima is back. Yes. Daddy Mishima. Yeah? The original wave. Who taught you the wave? Who? What are you talking about? I don't care. I genuinely don't care. It filled my heart with joy to see Heihachi Mishima come back. Even if it's just DLC. Just seeing him in the game brings me joy. I do not care. I don't even care if them do like a expansion pack and find a way to continue the story. Kind of like what they did with like MK11 Aftermath, something to that effect. You know, I don't care. I care zero. I care zero because the reality is you don't beat Daddy Mishima. You don't beat Raymond Reddington. You don't. The only cool thing that ever happened was, and let's talk about this, in MK1 or even before that, when Liu Kang became the god and Raiden, like, I remember the reaction that Liu Kang had. Like him look at him hands and he's like, why did you do this? He's like, why did you do this to me? And Raiden is like, can't you see that I've been wrong the whole time? Maybe I'm the human and you're the god. Maybe you have a God's wisdom and I only have a human's understanding. Maybe it should have been you. I think that's one of the dopest things to happen in the storyline of anything, really. Because it shows you the humility that Raiden has to be like, you know what? I was wrong. I screwed up this whole thing. I'm sorry. Here's my apology. You're a god. And Liu Kang literally, I remember Liu Kang's expression where him look at Raiden and see him in human form. And Raiden is like, dog, I trust you. Like, I could not have picked a better god. Yeah, it's going to have to be you. And then Liu Kang is like, but Raiden, I can't do this alone. like the conversation between them was so sincere, so impactful, and so sincere. I loved it. Yeah, because in that moment you could tell, you could tell that Liu Kang had this sort of, it's like him feel the weight of the responsibility. He felt it. He's like, yo, Raiden, I don't think you understand what you and he still kept calling him Lord Raiden, and he's like, no. Like Raiden is like, no. It's just Raiden, though. I am a mortal, right? And as long as I am alive, I will help you, deliver oh, sorry. Yeah, I will help you to deliver those changes to the universe. And this is what I love about the story too. The fact that the two endings are actually canonical. So there's a timeline where Shang Tsung wins, and there's 50% of the universes that exist or 50% of the universes where Shang Tsung won. And then there's another 50% of universes where Liu Kang won. Come on. Come on. Are you going to tell me, listen, MK versus DC is the best thing that ever happened to the Mortal Kombat franchise? Because if it wasn't for that, we would never have gotten NetherRealm Studios. That was the best mistake that was ever made. I mean, as a game, I think it was a decent concept too, you know, because they gave you a reasonable explanation as to how those two universes could collide. They did a good job with that. Like Dark Khan, you mean Dark Side mixed with Shao Kahn? That's wild. Big them up though. Big them up. It's been a while since I've been this excited. It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm sorry. Hey Mishima coming back, that touched me here. I don't care what you're saying. That touched me here. That touched me here, man. That touched me here. I don't care what nobody wants to say. You know, you can't kill Heihachi Mishima. You can't. What are you doing? Like, listen. And then no, bro, let's talk about this. Jin Kazama has a very tragic life. Jin Kazama reminds me of me or our generation. Yeah, because we want to have children. We would like to afford them, but we're like, what if I ended up giving my child to a demon? Yeah, you see, what Heihachi went through is what I went through with some of my exes. Well, lucky for me, we never breed them. Like Heihachi was not so fortunate. Yeah. And Heihachi spent the rest of his life fighting his son because of how he treated him. And it's tragic. And I'll tell you why. Because look on it. He said, I'm going to do a test. If my son survives the fall, he's a demon. I need to know. Like, could you imagine him fling the boy off of the cliff and then he just dead? Just bust up and then him go down there and go, yikes. Oh, I guess he was a demon after all. Oh, well. And you just kill your only son. Like, I don't know. And I'm gonna lie, that's morally, yeah. Not gonna act like he actually is a great guy. I mean, that was that's an extreme. But he had a suspicion. He's like, nah, here one. There's no way that I impregnated this demon and this picnic come out normal. So I'm fling the picnic over the cliff and the child survived. And then we've been getting taken ever since. Yeah. Yeah, and so when you look at Jin Kazama, right? Jin Kazama represents our generation where one have picnic but is like, dog, we can't trust them demon, yeah. Like, how we gonna do that? How we gonna trust them demon, yeah? Who we gonna leave we picnic them with? Who we gonna raise them? You know? Do the maths. 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 We did a lot. We did a lot. Um, you know what I miss doing? I miss playing the OG Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos and the OG Warcraft 3 Pros and Pro. I miss those things. I do. I do. I remember there was a point where I had it on my computer, and then all of a sudden the goddamn thing stopped working. Oh my God. It hurt my soul. It really did hurt my soul. the cinematics, just going through. It was just, it was fun. It was fun. Especially playing Rexar's mission in the bonus campaign for the orcs. Loved it. Loved it. I wish the game was like that. And no, I did see Angry Joe, the Angry Joe show. They did a review on Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. I understand why he was so upset because he's like, you kill off Batman and then like and you know what, it's just like in his mind he's like, dude, this cannot be from the same universe as the Arkham universe. Like that doesn't make any sense. The Arkham universe was built so well, and then you ruin it and tarnish it with this garbage. I get it. I'm with him on that. I'm with him on that. And then not to mention the fact that they turned it into basically a looter shooter, right? And here's the worst part. You basically allow all of the characters to change who they are and turn them into some. You basically turn them into Team Fortress. Don't get me wrong, Team Fortress is a good. No, in fact, worse. You turn them into a fusion dance between Team Fortress and Fortnite. That's what you did with the goddamn game. Horrible. Oh, but you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's talk about something that obviously most people should understand. Viltrumites versus Superman. Any one of them. I don't care. Conqueror, Thrag. I don't care which Viltrumite you send for Superman. They all lose. They all die. You know why? Because the yellow sun gives Superman his powers, and he can drag one of them up there and watch them burn while he gets more powerful. Not to mention the fact that he already have a freaking eye laser. I mean, did you see how he killed Billy Batson in Injustice? One of the most horrific things I've seen in my life. And the worst thing about it is Superman felt nothing after doing that. And shortly after that, Flash was like, okay, I think we've gone too far. But he never sent up to nobody. Him just secretly defect. And then they're like, what happened? He's like, fam, I witnessed him kill a child. Like he killed Billy. Like he killed Shazam in front of me. And he didn't even think about it. He was there like, oh, you're not listening to me? Right? Frost breath in mouth closed. Yeah? Frost breath in mouth. Literally freeze him on the inside. And then literally burn a hole in the back of his brain. Madness. And you know, when people try to simplify like Nolan's character as a Viltrumite, oh, he's just evil Superman. No, idiot. No, idiot. We already have an evil Superman. The name of evil Superman is either Ultraman on the other side of the parallel Earths. And if it's not that version of Superman, the only other evil Superman that we know for sure is Dictator, what you call, there's a word that they use for it. But basically, in other words, him run the world. Yeah? This is Emperor, Imperial Superman. Like that's that, in other words, him don't make up his mind, say, yo, the whole globe are mine. And you do what I say, otherwise you die. It's that simple. You don't agree with me, you die. Disagree with me, death. You're dead. That's evil Superman. The Injustice Superman is evil Superman. So when people want to get up and call like Omni-Man, evil Superman, I go, no, it's not evil Superman. In fact, Omni-Man got jumped by the fake Justice League and nearly died. Yeah? Superman would have wiped out everybody within less than half a second. First of all, Nolan could barely touch a fake Flash. Let's talk about that. You think that if that was a real Flash, Nolan could have done nothing with him? The real Flash would have literally written Nolan out of history. Would have just go back in the past, find him as a baby, broke it neck, and gone back home. I'm sorry. The real Flash would not have lost to Omni-Man. No, absolutely not. No, no. It just doesn't happen. So we spoke Injustice, Mortal Kombat. We spoke Invincible, right? So let's just be for real. You're not gonna do that. Don't simplify the story just because you don't have the patience to really understand what the story is about. I mean, one of the things that I really love about Invincible is how it deals with the inevitability of what Nolan was talking about. So Nolan is like, dude, you're going to watch all these people you know and love die. And Nolan had a point. It was tragic, it was messed up, but it's an insane response to the heart. It's like, well, I don't want to be heartbroken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to terrorize the planet, right? And force them to live under our regime because they're gonna die anyway. Why not just let them live? Just let them live. Let them live, guys. Let them live. Like it's not that serious. You could have let them live. That was the point of you taking over their society for what? For them to they're not gonna live longer. So so the idea behind what the Viltrumites want to do, where they take over planets and whatever, it's like it's not really working out. Because look at what it costed them. Like they're nearly extinct because of their stupid actions. They were a mighty empire and the empire fell. Hell, Viltrumites were killing each other for sport. you know, and that's what I love the fact that there are certain stories that will tell you, oh, I am not my father's or mother's child. I am my own person. And don't get me wrong, as much as people hate Boruto, you have to give Boruto the props for that. Because Boruto could have easily just been a repeat of Naruto all over again. It could have been that. Could have been just like, you know what? Let's repeat Naruto. I wanna be Hokage so bad. No. He doesn't want to be anything like his father. Not like him. He want to be like Sasuke. And yeah, it does make sense. Because Boruto addresses certain things that a lot of people don't understand that it's actually doing. Boruto addresses the neglect of your children. That's what Naruto, becoming Hokage, never knew that he must go end up neglecting his own children for the sake of the village. He never knew that was going to happen. He never knew. So when people get up and then bash the story, it's like, fine, all right, you don't like it. I believe that maybe it came out a little too early, right? People were still nostalgic about how they felt about the original Naruto verse. It's fine. If they had pushed it down a little bit further and released it at a later date in life, I think the series would have done just fine. In fact, it would have probably been better because you'd have had more time to explain where all of these new threats are coming from. But people want to trash it. And then, of course, that brings me to even Legend of Korra. Legend of Korra suffered from the same thing that Boruto did. You know, Boruto came out too early. Legend of Korra came out too early. It's that simple. People like to say, oh, Legend of Korra isn't as good and the choreography is, it's just like, shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Like, it annoys me because they had less time to animate the same level of quality of work that they did before. And they had to make a bonus episode just to keep their people on staff. Nickelodeon was literally sabotaging the team. You understand me? All because you didn't get to sell children's merchandise that you were trying to advertise by doing Legend of Korra. Really? When the whole thing was aimed at a more mature audience? Yeah. Why don't we sell, action figures of the Doom guy to children? Why not? What could possibly go wrong? Why not? Can't we? Yeah. An action figure of the Doom guy while he's ripping out a cacademon's eyeball out of his face. Why not? Why not? Why not? I don't know. There are so many absurdities when it comes to video games, when it comes to anime. In fact, oh, I have a hot take about people that want to, when people when people want to talk bad about video games, the arguments they come up with, they're so weak. They're so weak. I'll tell you a story. Toonami played a thing called Clone Wars on my television. And that's how I got into Star Wars Revenge, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Right? The Clone Wars animated cartoon that was animated by Jendy Tartakovsky, the same guy that gave you Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls and all of these things. Family did such an amazing job. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I prefer that version of General Grievous than the one we got in the actual Clone Wars continuity that we know. That General Grievous is like, he's a clown, he's a joke. Like nobody not take him serious. The Clone Wars from the original, the first Clone Wars we saw, that General Grievous terrified me. Like I remember watching it in fear. I'm like, why is he just murking people? Doesn't make sense. And him just have this look in him face where he's like, as if to say, why are you here? Don't you know you came here to die? One of my favorite things. If we could have had that version of General Grievous in the Star Wars Clone Wars that we got, yeah, yeah, yeah. I went through a lot, guys. So you know what? Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping me to stay consistent. It's really hard to do it. but I will honor my commitments. Yeah, holy things. XSplit broadcaster, I need to familiarize myself with it again so I can do what I need to do. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, that will be all for now. That will be all for now.